Hey everyone, Sheila here from Life for Pets. So as you can see, we have a problem going on in this tank. Bandit has developed a severe case of Popeye. We noticed it yesterday. The day before that, he was extremely spunky, his normal self, absolutely no symptoms whatsoever, no signs of him being sick. And then the very next day, which was yesterday, we noticed that his eye was swollen. So we did treat the tank, and I have treated it exactly the way I normally do. I did check all the water parameters and everything is perfectly fine. We did a very large water change so that I could then treat the water, and I am going to use Canaplex. This is what I have used in the past. We have only ever had one case of it before, and the Canaplex did the job with no issue whatsoever. However, we've never had it come on so quickly, and this is really quite a shock that he has ended up so bad so quickly. And we did treat the tank yesterday, but as yet there's no improvement. You can see he still has good colouring. He's not washed out, but he's not at all active. And so we're going to treat again today, and I'm also going to reduce the water level in this tank so that he can easily get around. As you can see, we do have Theo on the other side. He is perfectly normal, extremely active, hunted all the shrimp in the tank, so he doesn't seem to have any issues whatsoever. However, as it's a divided tank, I am going to treat the tank as a whole rather than take Bandit out, stress him out. And so I feel it's important that we actually treat both of them, just in case Theo is not actually showing any symptoms yet, but may come out with it at a later time. So I think when you have a lot of fish in a tank, it's a bit like a community tank. You need to treat the whole tank rather than just that one individual fish. So I am going to do a water change today, and I am going to leave the water level a little lower so that he can get up to the surface easier. And I'm also going to be adding Canaplex back into the tank, and I just really hope that he pulls through this. I've never seen a severe case, so it's not something I've really ever dealt with. Like I say, when we had it before, it was picked up very early on and it was gone within a few days. So this is a bit of a shock to me that he's developed it so quickly without showing any signs, and that he's also going downhill very fast. So we're now on day 3 of treatment, and as you can see, he is a lot more active. He's doing an awful lot better. Now the only thing I have noticed is on his eye, he's got sort of what looks like a little pimple under it, and it does look like it's got sort of a little bit of pus in it. So I'm going to be doing a second round of the treatment, and I did change the treatment from the Canaplex to the erythromycin. The Canaplex just didn't seem to be doing anything, so I decided that I was going to use this one, and the difference within 24 hours of having had one treatment was amazing. And then today is sort of after having 2 lots of treatment, and so I'm going to be doing a 25% water change like the medication says to do, and then I'm going to do a treatment again. Now as you can see, I did actually reduce the water level just a little for him so it was easier to get to the top, but now that he's doing a lot better, I will eventually raise it back up. You can see the eye is still very swollen from this angle here. That sort of gives you an idea how extended it is. It's still very swollen, still has a long way to go. So he has actually eaten today, which I am so pleased about. And today he's eaten bloodworms and brine shrimp, and so I'm really pleased that he does seem to have got his appetite back. As you can see, he does still have his full colour. Right now he's in resting position, and we do have a little fin clamp going on, but nothing major. Theo on the other side is still perfectly normal, so there's no issues with him at this point, but as I said before, I am treating the whole tank. So with the erythromycin, it comes actually in sort of like little packets, and you do 1 packet per 10 gallons. And you do that for 2 days, and then on the 3rd day you do a 25% water change, and then you can actually dose again. But I always recommend to read the instructions for yourself and make sure that you follow them closely. But we are going to be doing a repeat of the dose. We have done sort of 1 course of treatment, and now we're going to do a second one like it actually recommends on the back of the product. So I'm going to go and do the water change like it says to do, and then I will add the medication into the tank. Actually, you can get a pretty good shot there of just how bad the eye still is. You can see that there is still an awful lot of swelling. I'm hoping after today's treatment we will see that go down, and hopefully the little pimple vanish, and then after the next one as well. But you can see he's got good colour. And like I say, before he did look a little thin clamp, whereas obviously now he's looking really good. So hopefully a few more days and this little guy will be so much better. I think he's actually hoping I'm going to give him food, but he's already eaten today, so I will give him a little more later on. Let me just talk a little about what Popeye actually is. It is usually a bacterial infection, and what happens is fluid builds up in the eye, which is what causes it to bulge, and it does put an awful lot of pressure on the eye and is actually very painful for the fish. So if you do start seeing changes in your fish's eyes, it's not something to be ignored. It does need to be treated straight away, otherwise it can get very, very painful. But not only can it get very painful, if it's left untreated, the fish can actually lose their eye. Now, there can be many causes of the bacterial infection. Some of the common ones are poor water quality, and also maybe if there is something in the aquarium that is sharp, a decoration, and the eye can get damaged. Also, it can be a build-up or an imbalance within the aquarium. There are many reasons to why it happens, and sometimes it can be very difficult to pinpoint. So we are now 12 days into Bandit's treatment, and we did do 2 lots of treatment of the erythromycin, and as you can see he has completely healed. After the second dosing he still sort of had I'm just going to feed him because he so desperately wants food. Okay, there we go. Now he's going to be happy. After the second dosing of the erythromycin, his eye was still a little swollen, and he did sort of have like that little like sort of spot underneath the eye. And so what I decided to do was 50% water changes daily, and that made a big difference. So I think it was about 4 or 5 days of that, and that puts us as at today. And so I'm now going to sort of go back to, I think I'm going to water change twice a week just for the next few weeks, just to make sure everything's still okay, and we're going to go from there. But as you can see, a huge difference, and he's now really, really spunky. He's asking for more food, so I'm going to get some more food. So let's put some more food in. Now, when I was doing this, one thing that, as you all know, we do feed with tweezers, and so I had to make sure that there was absolutely no cross-contamination whatsoever. So thankfully with this tank we do have all different water change items when we're doing water changes, and then with the tweezers I do actually have tweezers that I use just for this tank. So thankfully we should have no cross-contamination. Obviously we did treat the whole tank. I'm just going to get some food for Theo here because he definitely knows that he's missed out. And yeah, so we did actually treat the whole tank. I didn't see any point in removing Bandit, because if there was a bacterial infection, then obviously it is possible that whatever fish you have in a tank, whether it's divided or a community tank, you do ideally need to treat the whole tank. But as you can see, this guy is back to his spunky self, and I am so relieved because I was very, very worried about him, but he is just doing amazing now. And he wants even more food. So there you go, that is how we did treat Popeye. I have done a lot of reading up on it. Like I said, we've only ever had it once before, and doing treatment was very easy, whereas this time it was a lot more difficult, and he was very, very sick. We were very concerned about him, so I did do an awful lot of research on it and sort of the causes, and there's a lot of sort of varying opinions on causes, but thankfully this guy is doing so much better, and that is how we treated it. So I would definitely recommend erythromycin for Popeye. As you can see, it has done a great job with Bandit. Sometimes with Popeye, you can actually get away with just doing water changes, but I do think that when it gets to a certain point, and with us, it came on so suddenly, and in my opinion was very severe, that I just felt that risking only doing water changes was just not worth it. So I think if it's something that doesn't sort of appear almost overnight, but that you can catch it when you start seeing a change in the eye, then I do think water changes probably would take care of it, but it just depends on severity and whether the betta fish responds or not. Alright guys, well that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and just let me know in the comments box below what you use if you've had fish with Popeye and sort of what success rates that you've had. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel and you would like to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.